The simple sounds of a classroom at work, but as these fifth graders sail through this assignment, 10-year-old Joseph Salam is silently struggling. Joseph and hundreds of other students in Diocese of Brooklyn elementary and high schools have yet to receive special education services they qualify for this school year. That's because they didn't submit a form on time stating they need them. And now New York City Public Schools, which provides those services, says legally their hands are tied. Current News' Jessica Easthope joins us now with how this special education setback has affected these kids. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Christine. These students are essentially being locked out of the academic help they need in order to thrive in class. This missed deadline and the legal barriers surrounding it have caused heartache for students and their families. Services are delayed and progress has come to a screeching halt.
That was your 100 because you're doing good and you study, and that's...
Susan Salam and her son Joseph hope this test will motivate him to do well.
We look at this every single day.
Of course. But this year, in fifth grade, all the motivation in the world hasn't changed his reality.
School is hard. ELA is hard. I'm failing science.
Joseph and 250 other students across Diocese of Brooklyn elementary and high schools aren't receiving the special education services they require. It's because of this. A letter of intent signed and handed in after the June 1st deadline. It's part of the state's legal process, allowing private and parochial school students to get access to support provided by the public school system.
I think that deadlines are extremely important and that, parents really need to respect them. However, right now, there is a serious issue.
Since he doesn't have his services in place.
Luisa Manzo, Associate Superintendent of Diocese of Brooklyn Schools, says this school year the deadline was strictly enforced. And though some families didn't meet it, there's a problem that needs to be solved.
Whether it's OT, whether it's speech, whether it's a SETS provider, without that support, they're kind of taking a step back.
At St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Academy in Astoria, where Joseph goes to school, Special Education Teacher Support Services, or SETS provider Sabrina Sirabisi, says she has a handful of students who she's legally not allowed to interact with.
Without that form, I am not able to provide them with any of their services. You can basically see desperation in their eyes.
I just think I need the services because I'm struggling.
It impacts so much more.
Principal Liz Riley says the consequences of this will have lasting impacts.
Teacher moves forward. The divide between the students who can and the students who need help just grows.
New York City Public Schools says they're committed to serving every child who needs it. But while Joseph waits, the goal of staying on track is slipping away.
This is damage that's going to be irreversible. Self-esteem suffers, their well-being suffers.
He did great last year. So why this year my son is getting 50s and 40s and failing all his classes?
We spent 3 hours on science and I got a bad grade. We spent hours on studying and I still get a bad grade.
Diocese of Brooklyn Superintendent Deacon Kevin McCormick says he understands the legal obligations of the New York City public school system, but allowing bureaucratic red tape to hold up this kind of service is unacceptable.
We got to stop hiding behind rules and we got to start dealing with human beings. That's what's essential here. How are we going to take care of kids that are in need? That's what we have to do now.
Diocese of Brooklyn Schools officials are continuing to push for these services. We reached out to New York City Public Schools, and as of right now, there is no date for these students to receive services again. They maintain their legal obligation is first, Christine, to the families who had their paperwork in on time.
Oh, Jess, it is so heartbreaking to see him crying. I know his mom is in pain too. So what can parents do now?
Right, so of course students are being offered extra help by their teachers, but families can and have paid to seek outside help from private tutors. And that being said, the diocese is not pointing fingers at parents who miss this deadline. They understand families, as you well know, can sometimes be inundated with emails and things can get lost in the mix. And so, that being said, however, this deadline is part of state law. So legally, these kids cannot get these services until this paperwork is sorted out.
So what are the lasting impacts here?
Right, you know, you saw Joseph, you saw his mom. The reality is that kids won't be able to meet the requirements they need to succeed in class and in school. And you have to understand that in order to qualify for these services to begin with, these kids have already been deemed to be 1 or more grade levels below where they should be. So this isn't extra, this is how kids learn.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Jess. Hopefully it'll all be worked out soon.
Yes, definitely.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.